Steph Hodge with Board Game Geek, here with Connor McGoey, and from Inside Up Games. And today we're looking at a new title, so
Yes.
new it's not even out yet.
Which is in fact called Seven Souls.
Oh, Seven Souls. Not this.
Not this.
So, still in prototype form.
Of course.
Things are subject to change.
Thank you so much for saying so.
Yes. And so, tell me a little bit about the world of Seven Souls.
Yeah, so Seven Souls is deeping. I have dancers off camera who are clearly just trying to distract me. And they did a good job. So Seven Souls is deep within the Cthulhu universe, the world of H.P. Lovecraft, but with my own Inside Up Games spin on it. So instead of being the investigator fighting for good, the players are actually going to inhabit the bodies of the ancient evil ones, trying to take over and rule the world. So we're playing for the bad guy side of things. So as you can see, we've got a beautiful art style done by Rhys Ap Gwyn, a phenomenal artist. I'm so happy to be working with him. And he's brought a fun kind of light and dark, happy and scary feel to the game, which I think works really, really well. Kind of a gateway feeling to the game, get people in, get them playing very easily, but also with enough depth of strategy to keep gamers interested. Perfect.
So walk me through like a little bit, like a turn or something.
Yeah, for sure. So the main mechanic would be simultaneous action selection.
Oh, excellent.
So Seven Souls is the name because there are 7 different characters.
Nice.
We'll all be using those same 7 characters, trying to control their mental abilities and their willpower.
Okay.
We'll select them from our hand, and we'll send them to the 3 different locations. So we have the university, of course, the manor, and then the church. At those different places, they have different amount of resources. There are the resolve cards, there are these souls, which are basically victory points, and then there's power. Power can be used to power up before a fight, or also to earn space at any of the sacrificial altars.
Excellent.
As you can see from the different layouts, there are different amounts of resources at each location. So when choosing your characters, you're going to try to decide who you want to place where. The other thing you need to take into account is the fact that the investigators, one of them will attack at the end of each round. So a round will begin by taking the top card of the investigator stack and sliding it to the bottom, revealing a new icon.
The library.
Exactly. That will show off that the university is going to be attacking.
The university.
And the investigator there has icons on them showing who they're going to be targeting. So this says that later in turn order, the higher numbers will be targeted.
I got
So when I'm looking at my 7 characters, I might say, well, I don't want to play high here, I don't want to get hurt, but I want some resolve, so I'm going to send said player to this location. We're all doing that face down. But at the same time, Steph's sitting there thinking, Connor's probably going to send so-and-so here because he thinks this is a good idea. And it's a lot of the mind games you're going to play with each other, right? Which is lots of fun.
Yes.
So we end up sending our characters there. So let's say for fun, multiple characters have been sent to this location.
Yes.
Once all 3 locations have characters in them, you'll simply flip them over and maintain the order with which they were played.
Oh, okay.
They will then reorder for character rank, which will simply slide in, and then we'll take turn orders from bottom through top, taking in the different supplies as needed. What gets interesting is when Steph and I have accidentally both chosen the same character at the same location.
Oh yeah, so what happens there?
Exactly, so we'll all have these resolve decks. Now at the start of the game, our resolve is pretty poor. We have 4 horrors or fear cards.
Seems not good.
And 1 focused or success card. These are what you're going to shuffle up, and you're going to use these for your resolve checks to fight.
I got you.
So I will give you a stack as well, which I actually left over there in an effort to be speedy. So I'll give you a better stack than me because you're probably a better player. So I'll give you a couple fear. We'll shuffle those up.
All right.
Now I'm jumping all over the place, but just to keep it going for people, you're also going to collect this power throughout the game. So let's say these are our 2 characters. Now I went later in the turn order, so I have to decide if I'm powering up first. The way power works. Well, yes and no. I know I have a crappy deck right now with only a 20% win chance. I can power up, but it only works on successes. If I use it on a failure, it's wasted. You have a better deck because you've been drafting better than me so far. So I'm going to choose not to use any power. You can use up to 2 power per flip.
Sure.
You're going to use up 2 power? Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, we're both going to give it a little shuffle.
Yeah.
And we're each going to only flip 1 card.
All right.
So we're going to flip the card. Oh, wow. So I got a fear.
I got
I've
double
lost.
success.
You got double plus the 2 you put in, which is 4 to my 1.
I win something big.
What you win is control of the character, which is great. Now I've lost, which sucks, but I discard the crap card from my deck.
That's nice.
And I get the card you beat me with. So my deck is now stronger and your deck's getting weaker.
That's my card.
Hey, that's exactly. I'll use it on you later. And the power is discarded. So anytime you get into a fight with someone or a fight with the investigator, cards and power is constantly going out of the game, which means that you're always going to be improving the deck you have. That said, as with all my games, I want player interaction. So there are certain characters that are going to allow you to re-sow fear into other players' decks.
That's perfect.
You're going to repeat these processes, very quick to learn, very easy to go. The investigator is going to try to attack you at the end of the round. Once that's over, you'll simply look and see all the different locations. If any of them have 2 resources that have been completely emptied, that triggers game end.
Oh, okay.
You're going to add up all the scoring. We've gone through the obvious scoring of victory points. These soul tokens have 0s, 1s, and 2s on them.
Oh, okay.
The investigators that you can try to corrupt throughout the game have victory points on them. And then the other ones are the sides. The altars you can purchase and get those victory points.
By spending the appropriate tokens.
These are different. So these are altars you purchase, but
With
you actually
these
have to send a character there, meaning you're down a character for the rest of the game. So some give and take. A little push your luck. At the bottom,
It's worth it.
sometimes it's worth it. At the bottom of the board is you have different awards or blessings that are given out. So if you've corrupted 2 investigators, you would automatically win extra endgame scoring. If you have extra souls or more power, basically different strategies you're going for. Those are simply 1. The one thing I'll mention, which I clearly put back in the box, are some secret objective cards. How did I not put them on the table? They're hiding somewhere. Wherever they're, I bet you I'm going to see the video
It's all
later and
good.
they're sitting here.
They're special cards.
The secret objective cards, where players will have 2 options of the goal they want to take and which monster they want to inhabit. Do they want the most souls? Do they want the most fear? Do
We'll
they
give
want
them
the
something
most...
to go for.
Exactly, something
That's
to aim
awesome.
for. And
Yeah.
you basically add up the points from all those cards and you'll figure out who the winner is.
Perfect. Let me see that box again.
Yeah, for sure.
Still in prototype form, but we're looking at 7 souls.
7 souls, well done.
I remembered. Okay. And that's coming about when?
Yeah, so the Kickstarter just finished about 10 days ago. We do have late pledges open now. If you're interested, you can check us out. Go to either the Kickstarter or the CrowdOx page, looking for 7 souls. You can late pledge. Any pledges that come in during Origins will go towards further stretch goals.
Perfect.
And then by the Kickstarter, it's supposed to fulfill early next year, but I'm trying for the end of this year.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, Connor.
Thanks for having me, Steph.